understand is that he needs to pick up his foot when I touch his leg with my whip. And as soon as he does that, I'm going to ask him to take 1 or 2 steps forward so that he understands that I don't want him to stay in place. If your horse doesn't pick up their leg right away, just keep repeating the whip on their leg, and eventually it'll become annoying and they'll pick up their foot. So here he pawed the ground a little bit, which was different than just picking his foot up, so I'm going to ask him to take a couple steps forward and then reward him for that. Once they learn to pick up their foot, every time you touch their leg with the whip, you're going to ask them to pick up their foot with your whip and then ask them to step forward and keep cueing on the leg. Eventually they'll start to maybe take a bigger step or do a pawing motion, and you want to reward any small attempt at that. As you're going to see in this next clip, I'm going to ask him to pick up his foot, and once he picks it up, I'm going to ask him to step forward and then keep cueing on the leg. And he did just a slightly larger step than he was doing before. That's what I'm looking for. And every time he is taking a step, I want him to walk forward so that he understands that when he does the Spanish walk, it's a forward movement. I don't want him to do it in place. That's something that you can teach later on. So once he's giving me nice big steps from the halt, I'm going to walk forward with him and cue him as he walks. Right now I'm only asking him to do one leg, so I want him to stay on the rail, and then I'm going to walk backwards and cue for that one leg.
Good boy.
Then I'll switch direction and cue him with the other leg. Once he's really got this down on both legs, I'm just going to take him off the rail, and then I'm going to start cueing him to do one leg after the other. At first they're usually pretty confused and unbalanced because it's really hard for them to coordinate that large step and walking at the same time. The kind of coordination that you see in horses that do a really nice Spanish walk just takes a while for them to learn. Especially with Jake, since he's bigger and he's got longer legs, it's a little bit harder for him to coordinate walking and stepping at the same time. But if you do this every single day for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, you should have no problem teaching your horse to do that.